Hello, this is Dr. Glenn Shepard, and this video is on freedom, finding freedom, part two. I've started a series on finding freedom, and in this whole series, we'll investigate what freedom really is to you and how do you know you are free. Okay, that's the question about your own personal consciousness, okay? And freedom is a state of consciousness. That's why it's important that we develop our own freedom, okay? And I've written a couple books, Transformation of Human Consciousness by Design, and also Freedom, Love, Joy Movement. And in these books, I discuss the importance of the evolution of our consciousness, okay, our brains, our minds, how are we evolving as human beings, okay, and how important freedom is for our evolution, okay. And so what's important to examine in this video, I want to look at, for you to look at, who are you? Who are you? What are you? Your thoughts? Pretty much, right? And that's what I'm talking about, your consciousness. What is it that makes you think? Where are those thoughts coming from? Are they yours? How do you know if they're yours or coming from outer space or what? What is consciousness? Okay, so you have to think about that, and you need to develop your own sense of being in control of your own thoughts. Okay? Are these, like I said, are these your thoughts? Or are they coming from other people? Okay? So that's the big idea here to think about throughout the series, and we'll be looking at what are all the influences that, are on your thoughts. Where do they come from? Of course, they come pretty much, from the beginning, from your family, your mother, your father, how you were treated. Maybe you've had brothers and sisters and other family members and impressions that they left on you, fear, guilt, maybe love, sharing, positive things, maybe very negative. Same with your friends throughout, say, school. Or just friends throughout your life, young and old, younger and older friends, all the influences they have, positive and negative though too. There's some people, again, you have all that, like baggage that happens too throughout your life. All these thoughts about things that have happened and you wish they hadn't happened, and you think about those people and your friends, your family, and then your church, if you go to church or don't go to church, whichever, how's that influence how much you think or what you think? Or feel like you're being told what to believe? Do you have options? Do you feel like you're free enough to make choices? Or then you have television. Oh my goodness, television is brainwashing and stuff. And not only the shows, trying to sell you on something, but the commercials are obviously selling you on everything. And then social media, the same way, they're selling you something constantly, products or ideas, or you don't know what to think anymore. It's like confusion. Totally confusing. Then you have all these groups running around with their specific things that they want to promote. It could be hate groups like the KKK or just the Nazi groups, and there's a lot of these right wingers and people like Donald Trump. I mean, my goodness, talking about a con man and trying to just take over your thoughts. And see, these type of people like to control you. They like to dominate your thoughts, and that's the way like occult leaders do. You give over your thoughts to them, whatever they think. So you give in, you give up. it's too much. Then you have billionaires who are trying to, and very wealthy oil people, bankers, who are controlling everything in the world. Seems like going on, and so you feel like overwhelmed. That you don't care. A lot of people just give up and say, this is just too messed up. So I just I give up, but you can't do that if you're trying to find your freedom. Okay, so that's the point of this, is you help you try to find your freedom from all this. Is how do you do that? And see, that's what this series is looking at. How do you get rid of some of all these influences and crazy things that are happening to you, and find what you think? Okay, do you think that you think for yourself? Do you believe you do? You really need to understand all the influences that's on you, okay? And they block your progress. All the guilt, all the past, all the everything that all these influences on your life, they're dragging you down. They're like baggage, okay, right? And you got to get rid of that baggage. You got to break through it. And they're blocking you, okay? So you have to be able to learn the importance of thinking for yourself and finding freedom. You see what I mean? And not just sit back and say, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do anything. And the other thing that's blocking your freedom is your own ego. So the other thing you have to question, and we'll be examining in this series, is what is your state of your ego? Okay, of course, there's various levels of very egotistic to more altruistic and whatnot. We call other centered. That means have more caring and love for other people, maybe many other people, and then you expand that love and sense to God-centered ego sort of idea. So where are you at? I mean, I know we're all pretty much right now pretty ego-centered. You have to think about where are you on this ego evolutionary stage. So we're on this evolutionary stage, and we want to progress, And the question is, for your own ego, though, is your ego just demanding, like, I want this, I want jewelry, I want money, I want whatever, drugs and power and food, and that your ego will just continuously demand things from you. It doesn't want you to be happy, satisfied stuff, because it wants more, So is it controlling you, or are you controlling your ego? You see, the ego is controlling you. It'd be just like all these other influences. You feel lost again. You just give up. You let your ego take over, and your desires and your just let it go. You don't try to control your desires and everything that may not be good for you. You see. Okay, so how do you control your ego? You don't want to let it go, just like with all the influences, and feel like you give up. So you need to be able to understand that your thoughts create feelings, and your consciousness is thoughts. Okay, that's what it is. It's your thoughts, and you create feelings, and then you act on your feelings. Okay, your behavior, and if you do something then that reinforces yourself, then it makes you feel good, and you might want to do it again, type idea. But if you do something bad and you get reinforced, then you might want to do something bad again too, sort of thing. But you have to understand that your thoughts and your feelings and your actions is something that you need to control. You know, you don't give that over to your ego, because your ego is not very good about handling stuff like that. The ego just wants to go, and, you know, hurt itself or whatever, you know. So there are meditation practices that, of course, we'll discuss throughout the series, because those are extremely important in letting go of a lot of this baggage, letting go of your ego, letting go of your thoughts that just continuously want to control you about people and past and the baggage and everything else. And so that's very important. And then talk about the PRODE method, which I developed and talked about. We got videos on the PRODE method, as well as being a method of going deeper and deeper into a topic, a question, or a problem. Well, you can go deeper and deeper into yourself as well, okay? In understanding yourself and your ego, and in controlling your ego. You can use the PRODE method type approach, and we'll be using that to go deeper and deeper into your own self, okay? So that's what we'll look at in this series, is ways to free yourself. We'll look at some very specific ways and methods of breaking those chains that are binding you and keeping you from breaking free, you know, breaking loose and being free, being yourself, finding yourself, getting rid of that blockage and taking control, okay? So I hope you join me in other videos, Freedom, Love, and Joy channel, and subscribe. I also have a website, freedomloveandjoy.com, and my books are on Amazon.com, Transformation of Human Consciousness by Design, and Freedom, Love, Joy Movement. Okay, thank you. Bye.